Hi everyone, again I want to welcome you to geometry. Today's lesson that we're going to go over and then do the homework tomorrow is lesson 1-2, and hopefully by the end of this your learning target is I can use a protractor to measure and draw angles in a variety of ways. With that said, protractors, tomorrow for the homework you will need protractors, and you will also need your ruler as well. Okay. There might be some measurements in there that are too big for your protractors, and so I want to make sure that you also have a ruler as well. If you don't, I do have some extras, but please try to bring that as well. Start off with some definitions. A ray is a part of a line that extends endlessly in one direction. Okay, so a ray pretty much just looks like this, where it starts off at a specific point here and then goes off in a certain direction, basically infinitely goes in that direction. Now when I was in pre-calc, I remember basically looking at something like this and calling it a vector as well. A vector basically is a point that starts an array just like that, but a vector has two things. It has direction and it has magnitude. A direction is basically, again, the way the arrow is pointing, but it also has a length as well. A ray does not have a length besides the fact that it just continues on and on and on endlessly forever. Now when we add a second ray, we get an angle, which is, as I said, a pair of rays that have the same endpoint. Okay? And so an angle is the same exact thing as a ray, except we just add two of them. And this point right here, the point at which they meet, we call the vertex. Okay? And how we use our protractors is basically to measure the distance using degrees of that angle and the distance in between the two rays there. All right. Now when I talk about an angle, those rays I'm going to call sides. Okay, so it's the side of the angle that we use, and we measure the kind of the degrees in between those two. Now when you're actually measuring angles, so you have an angle here, alright, what you do is you take your protractor and you set the crosshairs of the protractor down here right on the vertex. You make sure that one of the sides is pretty much all the way on this line right here, okay, going towards 0. Okay. Now because this one is going to the 0 on the outside of the protractor, we're going to use just the outside numbers and we're going to basically forget about the inside ones. Okay. And so we go from this 0 and we go all the way around until we pretty much hit our second side of our angle, which is pointing at the outside number of 120. And so our answer obviously would then be 120. Now don't forget to label, alright, that'll be important on the test as well, your degrees, alright. So that's that symbol as you've probably known from pre-algebra. Now if we have an angle like this and it's kind of off kilter, well, we grab our protractor and we just line it up so that then it is pretty much, again, right on those crosshairs there, and one of our sides is going directly at the 0. Now this time the side is pointing at the 0 on the inside, and so we're just going to use the inside number, so we're going to go all the way around basically until we reach this point here. Now this one isn't as necessarily as nice. It's in between 130 and 140 obviously, so 130 and 135, and so you could take a guess at it, but what I'd rather you do is pretty much go from this point here, use your ruler if you need to, or your protractor, and extend the line, alright, to this ray, because again it's endless, so it can keep going on and on and on forever until we basically can reach and read one of these numbers. So I would see it here, so this is 130 degrees, 131, so I'd probably say it was about 132 degrees of an angle in there. Okay. Now, one thing that I want you to do when we actually do these flips lessons is, in addition to taking notes, I will have sometimes some activities for you to do. If we were doing this in class, I may have only had a couple people come up to the board to try it, but I do want you to try this on your own. There's a link at the bottom of this video in YouTube, and so I want you to follow that link, and I actually want you to come to class with the 10 questions that are part of this link here. So I'm going to click on this link, and it says cannot locate the internet server or proximate server. Alright, so let's try this again. It always helps to basically make sure you have your Wi-Fi hooked onto your computer. And let's see if this works. Alright, so let's see here. It might have actually pulled up a... Let me close out of this. Let me see. There we go. Okay. So this should be the screen that should pop up. Alright, so you're measuring angles. And you're going to click Start. And so if you are going to measure the angle, again, you have your protractor and you have your angle here, and you can use this button to rotate that protractor all the way around if you want. Alright, but again, line up one of the sides, alright, either one, and then I want you to not only basically put your angle on the inside here to see if you actually got it correct or not, but I do also want to see it on your note sheet, because I'm going to come around tomorrow and I am going to basically give you credit and points for actually going through this. I should see 10 numbers on there. Alright, so try to go through this, alright, and you put your angle measure in this one and then check it. Alright, obviously if you think, oh, it's 6 degrees and I'm going to check it, oh, that's wrong. Okay, the correct measure is actually 75. Alright, and so you're going to just click to the next button. Alright, but again, I want you to realize your mistakes if you make them. Alright, hopefully it gives you, it says the margin of error is only 1 degree, so you have to be as close as you possibly can and make sure you round it to the nearest whole number. Alright, again, please come to class with this done for tomorrow, and then we'll go through the homework then. If you have any questions, please feel free again to come in early and talk to me, or send me an email, and that should be it. Again, I hope this gave you some time to be able to practice some of this, and we will see you tomorrow. Okay, thanks, bye.